Okay, so I do have quite a lot to say. I've scripted out quite a bit, but this is the first thing I'll say. This is the very first voiceover that I've made on the phone and that I'm going to be exporting to the laptop to edit it. It being this project and get it out. So, as you can see, I'm on my knees with the t-shirt. Now, I had the t-shirt to try and reduce knee pain, and it actually did work a bit, but not as much as the mat would have. But I just left the t-shirt. I just kept on using the t-shirt, as you're seeing anyway, because I just was so focused on wanting to get the task at hand done, which was alternating between one set of 10 reps with the knee push-ups, as you're seeing, and also what you will see, which is 10 reps, not 10 sets, 10 reps of normal push-ups. But speaking of 10 sets of 10 of push-ups, I genuinely think I'd be able to do that. So I'm filming from the day after. I made this footage on the 20th, and ideally it's coming out on the 21st, but I'm making this voiceover for the footage on the 21st. Now, as you can see, I am doing the push-ups I was talking about. My elbows, now that I look at the form, they could be slightly closer by my side so that I'm flaring out less and potentially hurting my shoulders less long term. But the reps were okay, and I could say from the day after, I've definitely been able to develop on my abilities even further than I have in this video in terms of being able to do push-ups, thanks to this exact exercise session. And one thing in particular that I wanted to talk about is why I've actually made the audio of the video itself silent, at least as I'm recording it. Whether I'll keep it in with the voiceover, I'm not sure, but very basically it was me not really speaking much. And just as a disclaimer, when I flash my hands and I kind of like blink them, I curl them up and show, that's me trying to show how many reps I've got left out of the set of 10 that I was doing. You will see what I mean. I'll point it out if I see it. But yeah, I was just saying how many reps I did in total there. If I hold it up for a long time, then that's what I mean more often than not. Oh, I was trying to show how long I've been going for. It was around about 2 minutes 15 seconds. But yeah, I hoped that the camera might have been able to focus on it automatically, but that didn't happen. Even though the focus is live mode focus, I had it set up to show me doing the reps, not to show the watch from close up, unfortunately. But as you can see, going through the second round of the 10 push-ups, and I'd say this really helped. Doing the knee push-ups, an easier variant of normal push-ups, I've found through this session has helped me be able to do more normal push-up reps, because I've been able to focus on how I use my upper body during the normal push-up reps with more ease, because I'm lifting less weight, because I'm not lifting my legs during the knee push-up reps, as my knees are on the ground and my legs are just up in the air, not being lifted. So I definitely know for sure that I can. I think I shook my head because I didn't think that rep counted. I remember that happening now that I've seen it, but yeah. What was I saying? I definitely will have I will mix between easier reps, and I tried flashing my hands there to just show that I had 1 rep left, but my hands weren't working like that. I find it difficult to do that with just the pinky finger, but that's what I mean. But by flashing, I mean curling my fingers, yeah. But anyway, I definitely will be using easier variants and also the variants of the exercise, like normal push-ups, for example, as I'm about to do now, to be able to make it a lot easier for myself to get the move done, because I'd be using both exercises. I'd be using both forms to not just focus on form, but to also focus a bit on endurance, which, seeing as I'm talking about it, I may as well go into my notes for what I said about that. This was around about 5 minutes, I think I saw there, 5 minutes 40 seconds. That was what was on the watch. But yeah, I wanted to talk about my thoughts on how this endurance training style that I'm trying to take on board by doing the higher volume sessions, could be helpful as a foundation to do not only the endurance training style, but any training style in general. So, pardon me, I will do that and then go back to all of the other notes I've got lined up. But in terms of endurance training, I think it's the foundation, as I've said, to start doing any exercise with not just proper form, but to be able to then take it to the next level of difficulty as well. Because or at least so I think, and have found from personal experience of doing this session and then being able to do way more push-ups with way more normal push-ups with ease the next session on the day I'm making this voiceover the next day on the 21st. It has really been helping me, and I'm now focusing on doing a significant amount of reps to actually make the progress I need to make the strength gains that I'd want, to then be able to do whatever exercise I'd want to take on board. Now that I'm looking at my belly, I can see I am definitely getting out of my way to flex. No, oh my gosh, to flex, my bad. I was flexing in the door mirror because I was liking how things were going. I knew that was a point that I wanted to make now that I think about it, but that was the first time. The reason why I wanted to make a point about it was because that was the first time, at least in a very long while, that I wanted to flex my muscles and look at them because of how much effort I was actually putting in. Yeah, now that I look at it, I definitely could have flared my elbows a lot less, but it's a start, it's fine. Okay, so going back to the thoughts on endurance training. So, I'm thinking that if I keep this up, maybe within half a year or so, if I were to keep it up for that long, then I definitely would have made way more progress on a regular basis than I am at this point, because I would have just been developing on my abilities as a whole and also developing on my training styles, which would then I'd allow myself to further develop and increase the rate I'd be able to develop in other exercises. So very basically, I'd be able to develop the exercises I want to do and develop the developing factors, which in this example, in this case, would be the training styles I'd use to be able to do exercise, whatever that is. It seems like the weight that I've got, I'm at a BMI around about 27 or so, 6'1", 187 centimeters tall, at 90 kg. It seems like the weight goes to my belly predominantly, my upper legs second, I'd say, my chest as well third, and then my face fourth, then maybe my arms fifth, and calves last. It seems like throughout my calves last, I don't know what happened there, voice crack. It seems like regardless of BMI and regardless of weight, my calves would still look the same from a first person perspective. But when I've looked at previous daily logs from the very, very start of when I started filming and uploading onto YouTube, and I could see my calves were looking skinny, and they probably are now, but from a first person perspective, they don't look so skinny. However, when I look back at it, I predict, like, just how I'm experiencing now, they probably would look more skinny than my calves would look later on after doing exercise, all of the exercises I would have done up to that point. But you could even see now as I'm walking, that's around about 8 minutes, you can see as I've just turned around rather conveniently that I don't have much muscle mass in my calves. Now, I think that could be because I haven't really gone out my way to focus on calf raises as much as I could have. It is something I've thought about even recently, but it's not like it's something that I'm doing more often than not, or most days, at least like once every 2 days. I'm definitely not doing that. I was definitely feeling it in my shoulders as I was trying to point out. But now, as I was just looking at the footage, I could see my belly, man. My belly looks so big, especially when sat down or kneeling, like how I was just then. That happens for everyone, regardless of body fat percentage. That was what I was saying with flashing my hands. Regardless of body fat percentage, like, that happens for everyone, but even still, I just really don't like looking at that. But hey, I have done this in pursuit of being able to build muscle mass and increase it. That is why I got to the weight of 85, but then I've just been eating even more past that point at 90, and getting to 90 kg. Now I can see that being at this weight is not a weight I need to be at in order to change my body composition. It has, I'd say, been helpful with making that happen, because I'd like to imagine that I have more muscle mass than I did at, say, 75 kg before I got this big. But because I haven't done the research and regularly tracked my body stats, my muscle mass, body fat percentage, etc., I'm not entirely sure if I had, but I know that. That was the 8-minute timer. So the other one I must have showed before was around about 5 minutes. I think I said that 5 minutes 27 seconds, I think. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I can see, even when I look at my stomach again, that I don't need to weigh this much to be able to build muscle mass on my body and build strength. I don't need to. And I actually remember a YouTube video that has been going around of someone that was saying 8 years of powerlifting to be 73 kg. And I was at 70 kg with a sub 15 body fat percentage. And I think, although I definitely wouldn't be looking like him, because I'm not him and I haven't been training effectively with weights or just with exercise in general as much as I need to be able to look like that in any way, I think when I get down to 75, for example, I'd just be looking more skinny again. But I'd definitely be willing to accept that more than I was in the past, because I now know that I can take it slow with weight gain and actually know that it's okay to be at a healthy BMI. And this is what I was thinking, if I get to an overweight BMI, I can be at I can be physically healthy with with there being more muscle mass and body fat mass at a certain body fat percentage and a certain amount of body fat mass. If I got to 85 kg, hasn't happened. Although that could happen, it hasn't happened the first time round, which is this time round, where I've got to this weight. Yeah. Anyway, I will go back to all of the notes that I've been making. So this is basically the end of the session. I've done all of the knee push-ups and push-ups, normal push-ups that I wanted to do, and now I'm about to try doing the archer push-ups. My right knee was hurting a little bit, and my left knee was fine. That's what I was trying to make note of. But I'll just quickly go through all of the notes that I've made for the rest of this footage. So as I can see, without even looking at the notes, I've made way more progress. I now realize from the day before this log, that I can, or it might have been this one actually. No, yeah, I realized literally just then that in order to do the arch push-up with proper form, as I'm learning how to do and progressing onto doing, I need to push from both hands, not just the one that I'm bending and leaning toward. For example, with that one just then, I need to push not only on just the right side, where my arm would be closest to my side, but I also need to push on the left side. So with that in mind, I definitely will be able to keep making progress with the arch push-ups. But now I'll go back to what I was saying. So I think that doing all of these videos and in which I go out of my way to work within the time period has been actually really helpful. Now I have been able to have productive sessions without doing that. For example, the long sessions I'd have in the gym trying to learn how to do handstands and headstands and stuff, I learned how to kick up onto the wall by not having a time period. But if I'm not careful, I can, as I have done, just procrastinate with the exercise because I find it so difficult, especially with the push-ups, for example. But having a certain amount to do and having that structure, a certain amount to do within a certain time period, I've found from personal experience helps me with skills that I'm trying to learn that I can do with relative ease, like the knee push-ups and the normal push-ups. I haven't done that with handstands today, but as it gets easier, then I could add every minute on the minute style, training style, or just an endurance sort of training style, just by doing a certain amount of reps within a certain time period, similar to how I've done this time around. That way I'm making it way easier to have make some solid progress each day. But as I've been thinking today on the 21st, the day after filming this footage, that maybe the only reason why I make myself feel happy after doing a certain amount is because I've reached the expectations that I had in mind, rather than actually feeling happy because I'm actually going out of my way to learn something new and I'm trying to exercise and take care of my health. And although I might not know how to do said move like the handstand, I will figure it out. So I think I'd like to detach from making myself feel unhappy due to not reaching a certain expectation that I had in mind. And I'd like to rather just appreciate the fact that although I might not have made the expected progress that I wanted to make, I can feel happy knowing that I at least tried and I really did give it my best and I did give it a go. But if we're talking about handstands in particular, I don't really push myself to say I've been giving it my best shot. I've just, in my opinion, been doing enough to keep at the same level that I'm currently at with the handstand, which in my opinion relative to other people it is quite low. But then again, like how I've heard people on YouTube say, comparison's the thief of joy, and I genuinely might be making myself feel even more unhappy when I compare my ability to other people's ability who've been working on like the handstands, for example, potentially for years, whereas I haven't. I'd be comparing their 5-year mark to my half a year mark. That's not fair on me, but due to not thinking about it this way, I'd be making myself feel unhappy through those sorts of thoughts, so I've got to be careful with them. Yeah, I at least feel more comfortable now that I've said that. It's okay to compare like this from time to time. I will. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, but I can check myself and think that it's fine, and they might have been doing it for way longer than I have, and even if they haven't, that's fine. That's their journey, it's not mine. They can't do the exercises for me, and I wouldn't want them to either. This is my journey. But anyway, yeah, to try and counter staying at the same level with my handstands and other moves, what I'll do is I'll just make the sessions longer than they have been, like 10 minutes or so. I'll either use the phone or my reliable SD card to film the footage and just keep on going and going and going and pushing at it, pushing past that 10 to 20 minute mark, filming 30 minute or 40 minute videos and onward of me just making progress with the handstands. If I do that, say film a 1 hour footage long video of me just doing handstands, then I'd eventually get it. That would solve the problem. If I do it, say in the morning, fully hydrated, or I've got enough food to feel full, and I've got my water with me to feel fully hydrated. If I'm not one going into the session, I'll get there. I'm actually going to make a note of that. Say do one maybe 40 minute sessions and onward to make progress with the handstands. So I'm moving on and no longer just about staying at my current level due to not focusing on the handstands for long enough each session. And that's something that I can go out of my way to counter starting from tomorrow. Okay, so I'm just looking through all of the notes. That I've made. So I was talking about the t-shirt, my knee discomfort, and one note that I haven't spoken about is all of the reps. I did 3 sets of the alternating rounds, as I said, and I thought that was enough to make some progress. And what I said after that was, I personally think it's a start, but we'll need to do way more than that if I want to build on the progress I made in this session, which for example, doing 100 reps each session on said thing, like push-ups for example, and I think I would be able to do that through 10 sets of 10, maybe even eventually unbroken. Maybe even, listen to that wording, implying that I might not even think of it as completely possible yet, but it definitely is. I just have to develop my ability. Even if I did the reps one by one, it'd be possible. Okay, now I've convinced myself. Yeah, definitely. I definitely have it in me, especially as I've developed on my push-up ability today, or on the day I'm filming this voiceover, the next day on the 21st. This footage that I showed is on the 20th, as I've been saying. I say 100 reps, I was saying 100 reps I could do over and over, and then 200, and then if I want to really get to like high, like borderline, what people would consider elite levels in the quadruple digits, like 1,000 reps or 2,000 reps, like how I've seen on the That's Good Money channel. But I just have to be careful with my body and not get extremely large calluses. Don't need them. I can just use gloves and take care of my wrists during push-ups in particular. But yeah, I wanted to talk about me being silent throughout most of the exercise again. It helped me with concentrating on the task at hand, which was needed because I was really wanting to focus on that skill and get it, the knee push-ups, and get to finally doing reps on reps with the normal push-ups, which in this video I was able to do. It definitely has helped. My form on the knee push-ups was okay. I was adjusting a little bit due to the knee discomfort, but it was alright. Same story with the normal push-ups too. I could have flared my elbows less and kept them closer to my side for both the normal and knee push-ups, but it was something that I did focus on in today's session on the 21st when I'm filming this voiceover, the day after this footage. Archer push-ups, improved my form there, and I definitely think if I tried, I would be able to actually do like maybe 50 rep attempts and then eventually be able to do them normally, bit by bit. So I should definitely keep on going with that. I think have a push-up session where I just go through arch push-ups and just make it so easy for myself. It's a bit strange with exercise. I've found that the more reps I do, the easier it actually gets to a certain point, which is what I found with the normal push-ups. I don't know, and I mean that during the session. I don't know how that works, but that's what I've found. I think it's probably just because I'm becoming more physically able to do said thing, and also I have recently started effectively training like this, so newbie gains could be a part of it, like people talk about on YouTube. Yeah, that is it. Finally, I am done. Just we finito. I've made like 12-minute voiceover takes, but that's it. Cheers to adding on. Cheers to the footage I've made today. Cheers to the footage I've made here yesterday in this 20th of June video. And cheers to this progress I've made today on the 21st of June when I'm making this voiceover, and cheers to making more of it. Day by day, bit by bit, piece by piece, be able to add on the progress that I've made with exercise as a whole, and make it easier for myself to enjoy life, make it peaceful, make it fun, whatever I want it to be. Allow myself to be able to trust in myself that I can do what I want to do and progress with whatever I want to progress in all aspects of life. And exercise helps me with that. It helps me detach from thinking about wanting to solve my current situation all the time with, for example, finances and stuff. I definitely could improve there, but when it's time for me to exercise, I'm so involved, so completely immersed in it, and I am willing to say I love it, and that's not an exaggeration. I genuinely do value my health a lot, and love is a strong word, but I'm willing to say that I love exercise, and I love being able to use my body, especially at my age where my biologically I am so physically capable of achieving way more than I currently am. And if I sense that I'm hitting plateaus maybe a decade or so after, and it's just not what, in my opinion, it used to be, like during these times when I've just started making progress, and I think it'd be time for me to switch to something else. But for now, I like what I'm doing, and I definitely plan to keep on progressing. So on that note, cheers to the progress I've made in this footage, cheers to the progress I've made today, and cheers to the progress that I'll make in the exercise sessions for the rest of my days that I'll make, and the sessions I won't record for whatever reason. And cheers to progressing in every cheers to progressing in every aspect of life. Peace.